As cup ties go, they don't come much tougher than a trip to the Emirates Stadium. But rather than fear one of the top clubs in England, Michael Appleton insists Rovers are relishing the prospect of facing Arsene Wenger's Arsenal in round 5 of the FA Cup. It's a classic David against Goliath tie, with Rovers huge underdogs to progress to the quarter-finals. But such is the magic of this famous old competition, you just never know. If Rovers could pull off a famous victory, it would rank as one of the biggest shocks in this season's competition. Rovers' league record at the Emirates doesn't make pleasant reading, having never won here, but our only previous trip in the FA Cup ended goalless, with Rovers winning the replay courtesy of a Benny McCarthy goal, and we went on to reach the semi-finals, that back in 2007. Rovers boss Michael Appleton has experienced that winning feeling here though during his time as assistant manager at West Brom. How he'd love to repeat that leading his new side. 2 changes for Rovers from our last league outing at Brighton. Danny Murphy is rested, DJ Campbell cup-tied, Morten Jamps Pedersen comes in along with Lee Williamson, who makes his first start for the club. So Rovers line up with number 34 Jake Keane in goal, then it's 2 Bradley Orr, 3 Martin Olsen, 6 Jason Lowe, 11 Jordan Rhodes, 12 Morten Jamps Pedersen, 14 Marcus Olsen, 16 the captain is Scott Dan, 17 Lee Williamson, 31 Grant Hanley and 39 Colin Kazim Richards. On the bench the goalkeeper is number 30 Seb Asai, then it's 5 Gael Givet, 7 Fabio Nunes, 21 Nuno Gomez, 23 Karim Rekic, 25 David Goodwillie and 35 is David Bentley. Arsenal, with one eye on their Champions League match with Bayern Munich, make a raft of changes. Only Szczesny, Monreal, Arteta and Giroud keep their places from the side that won 1-0 at Sunderland. The hosts have number 1 Wojciech Szczesny in goal, and it's 2 Abu Diaby, 5 the captain Thomas Vermaelen, 6 Lauren Koscielny, 7 Thomas Rosicky, 8 Mikel Arteta, 12 Olivier Giroud, 15 Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, 17 Nacho Monreal, 22 Francis Coquelin and 27 is Gervinho. On the bench number 24 Vito Mannone is the goalkeeper. It's 3 Bakary Sagna, 9 Lucas Podolski, 10 Jack Wilshere, 14 Theo Walcott, 16 Aaron Ramsey and 19 is Santi Cazorla. Both sides have picked strong teams, both clearly want to progress, and who can blame them with a trip to Wembley just 180 minutes away. The referee this afternoon is Mike Dean, and he's gone through the pre-match formalities, and we're not too far from getting underway here. And you can sense inside the stadium there's a real air of anticipation, of expectancy. Rovers have sold our full allocation of tickets, and we're just underway at the Emirates Stadium against Arsene Wenger's side. Rovers in this first half kicking from right to left. We're in our changed strip, the old navy outfit. Arsenal in their red and white tops, white shorts and white socks. And it's Martin Olsen with the early throw on the Rovers left hand side, in towards the feet of Kazim Richards. Little touch off to Marcus Olsen, who's flagged offside, and Arsenal will get the free kick. Delighted to say alongside me is Edward Bretherton, and Arsenal will provide a real stern test for Rovers, that's without a shadow of a doubt. But that Champions League game that they have in midweek, I just wonder whether Arsene Wenger's players in particular are thinking, we don't want to pick up an injury that would rule us out of that match.
Well, certainly they must have one eye on it, and you've got to prioritise games like this. I just wonder how important the FA Cup is for Arsene Wenger this year. A big team like Arsenal, you'd expect them to try and want to progress in the Champions League. It's a tough tie against Bayern Munich. Maybe there might be a little bit of a sniff of an upset here for Rovers today, but they're going to have to put a real shift in and try and close Arsenal down as they've just done there.
Oh, Martin Olsen moving forward down the left-hand side, crudely brought down by Coquelin, and Rovers will get the free kick. I think a few minutes on in the game, and that could well have been a yellow card as well, because it was certainly a challenge that warranted a yellow card, but Mike Dean being very lenient early doors.
It's one thing that you do need in a game like this, a strong referee. Mike Dean, Premier League quality, is known for giving red cards, penalties, but he's one that's always on the spot, always in the right place, and I think Rovers might well need that just to keep Arsenal out.
Oh, Pedersen with the free kick, and it goes towards the back post, and it was Marcus Olsen with half a chance there. Attacked it with his left foot, and has in the end prodded it comfortably wide of target, but the flick at the near post fell nicely, and having seen it again, perhaps has gone for that one with his wrong foot, but it's a real half chance for Rovers within the opening couple of minutes.
It's awful defending from Arsenal early on. Header across, I think by Oxlade-Chamberlain, who headed it at the near post, and Marcus Olsen at the far post, left-footed. He really needed to swing his right at that, but he had so much space. Arsenal marking was lacklustre. Maybe that's something that Rovers might be able to exploit, the set pieces in and around the penalty area.
Oh, it's flicked on at the near stick. Dan was just behind the Arsenal man as well. There were certainly gaps in there. Just wonder if it was someone slightly more confident when it comes to putting the ball in the back of the net, whether that might have had a different outcome. Just one goal for us, Marcus Olsen, that coming in the away game at Leeds United in September. A long time since he last scored, has had injuries since then. But when you're playing as a winger, you do want to be getting up towards half a dozen per season. Clip forward by Van Marlen, the Arsenal captain, and that one runs harmlessly behind for a goal kick. And we know Arsenal are a side that on their day can take on and beat any side, really. And Rovers' league record here is poor, to say the very least indeed. And when Arsenal have got on top of us, they've got on top of us in quite some style as well. I mean, last season a classic example, when Rovers were hit for 7 here. Twice we've had 6 put past us. We have had a couple of goalless draws though, one of those coming in the FA Cup. Heroics from Brad Friedel that day. Benny McCarthy with a winner in the replay at Ewood Park. Oxlade-Chamberlain trying to steal in behind. Keane, smart goalkeeping, comes to the corner of the penalty area and collects. Just been caught there, as he did take that one. Good reading of the game, but there lies Arsenal's main threat, really, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
It's taken him a few minutes to get going, Arsenal, but finally the ball down the inside right channel. I think it caught Martin Olsen out. He wasn't expecting Oxlade-Chamberlain to be in behind him. Good covering from the Rovers centre-back and good goalkeeping from Jake Keane, being out smartly.
A good challenge there by Arteta, just preventing Marcus Olsen having a free run down the left-hand side. But the encouraging thing is, in the opening exchanges, Rovers have been more than competitive.
Yeah, well, they've obviously been told to really get stuck in, allow Arsenal no time on the ball, not be afraid of coming out themselves, especially down this left-hand side, but that's what they've got to be careful of. Kazim Richards there just taking a little bit too long on the ball and giving it away far too easily.
Oxlade-Chamberlain down the Arsenal right, feeds Rosicky, clips the ball in, and it's a disappointing final delivery, and it drifts straight behind, and that will be a goal kick. But the two bright moments for Arsenal thus far have both come down their right-hand side.
A great chance for Rosicky just to clip it across then, and Giroud in the middle, waiting to head it home. Looks like Rovers are being caught out in the left-back slot early on, and maybe Martin Olsen's going to have to be a little bit careful how far he gets forward, and if he does, maybe Marcus Olsen needs to drift back into left-back.
Oxlade-Chamberlain on halfway, forced to turn back by Marcus Olsen. Coquelin finds Arteta, someone else who's got a good goal record against Rovers, in fact scored against us for both Everton and Arsenal last season. Oxlade-Chamberlain finds Coquelin midway inside Rovers territory, tight on the right-hand side. Diaby bundled over after he played the ball by Kazim Richards. The referee saw it, allows the game to go on.
I think Arsenal are lining up a little bit differently to what I might have expected. I think Rosicky's playing as almost the second striker in behind Giroud. Oxlade-Chamberlain on the right and Gervinho on the left, when it might have been 4-3-3.
Rosicky gives it back to Oxlade-Chamberlain. Again, Diaby waits in field. Rovers all bar Kazim Richards and Rose behind the ball. Diaby's pass towards Monreal finds its intended target just about. The Spanish fullback having to retreat. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Coquelin, again Arsenal keeping the ball, it's neat and tidy now. Thomas, Rosicky on the right-hand far, inside, infield towards Oxlade-Chamberlain, darts beyond a couple, pulls the ball back, and there's nobody waiting, edge of the 6-yard box. Bradley Orr will make the clearance, and it was almost classic Arsenal play, exactly what you expect them to do. And Rovers couldn't deal with it until the very, very crucial moment.
Decent build-up play with Rovers dropped very deep inside their own half, and whereas in years gone by you might have expected the likes of Van Persie to be in there in the 6-yard box attacking that. This time there was no one, and Giroud put his hands on his head. He knew he should have been there, but he wasn't. Decent defending, and Rovers got enough numbers back to try and get it clear.
You could almost see the fear in the defenders' eyes there, though. They didn't want to make the challenge on Oxlade-Chamberlain. Once he's darting inside the penalty area, you have to be very, very careful. And he's got pace, but he carries the ball so well at his feet. He's not had as much first-team football as he would have liked of late. Theo Walcott's been in terrific form. I know Walcott's been playing through the middle quite a lot. Well, that's one of the reasons that Oxlade-Chamberlain hasn't had as much of an impact as he would have liked. Well, Martin Olsson halts his run again on that right-hand side, the Arsenal right. Well, Francis Coquelin has a throw just a few yards away from Rovers manager Michael Appleton. Diaby finds Monreal. Gervinho back from the Africa Cup of Nations finds the feet of Rosicky. Monreal waits left-hand side, a chance for him to cross, pulls it back, might well have struck the arm of Bradley Orr. It was down by his side and he was about 3 yards away, but once again Rovers will protest about a handball decision, much the same as we did at Brighton in midweek.
They've had a few given against them of late, but you can see why Matt Dean's given that. Bradley Orr's arm is down, when it is out by his side, it's clearly hit it, and it's an obstruction. There was no advantage for Arsenal. It wasn't too far away, the referee, and an early set piece for Rovers to try and defend.
Well, Arsenal not known for their set piece ability. Well, they do have height in the box with Giroud, Diaby, Vermaelen and Koscielny. Right-footed, whipped in towards the near post, and it was Diaby who got his head on that one. Flicked it on, but maybe just having to lean away from goal a little bit in order to make contact. Couldn't then direct his header on target.
They're being well marshalled in the 6-yard box by the Rovers defence. Had someone right on the back of him, I think it was Martin Olsson. Didn't make it easy for Diaby. Big guy coming forward from midfield. I know he's not played too much football for Arsenal of late. Certainly a talent when he's on the pitch, he certainly shows it.
Well, Keane, as yet, untested really. And we're approaching the 10-minute mark. Kicks forward. Low, looking for Rhodes. Koscielny there, Low picks up once more and finds the feet of Kazim Richards. Good challenge from Coquelin. Martin Olsson picks up. Tries to break beyond Oxlade-Chamberlain. Kazim Richards finds Marcus Olsson. Kazim Richards again with a good foot in. Finds Martin Olsson, who elects for the early cross. Takes the touch, it's just too high for Williamson. And now Arsenal looking to break. Or brings down Gervinho. And referee Mike Dean wants a word with the Rovers fullback, and it will be the first yellow card of the game.
Not too many protests there from Bradley Orr. It's perhaps a little bit harsh. Gervinho's got the first prodded it beyond him. Was coming from the side, whether the ball was going out of play, I'm not sure. He won't be thanking his left back defender though there, Martin Olsson, with the whip ball across. It went nowhere near any of the Rovers players in the penalty area. And he had so much time down the left-hand side, his final product should have been better than that.
Oh, I thought he could have driven forward a little bit, but he elected to cross early. Well, frustration for Rovers might be that Coquelin brought down Martin Olsson in a not too dissimilar fashion, and there wasn't a yellow card on that occasion. You could see it when it was a clear Arsenal break, and that was perhaps why the referee produced the yellow. Or the first man to be booked in this game. I don't particularly have fond memories of the Emirates Stadium in terms of his time with Rovers. His debut here was the heavy defeat in the league last season. Has to be better than that, surely. Surely it does.
You don't want to be on a yellow card this early in the game against Arsenal, though. They'll isolate you, the full-backs, try and use the pace to get in behind. You really need to keep your full-backs off a yellow card, otherwise they're just inviting pressure onto them.
Oxlade-Chamberlain slides it through towards Monreal. Disappointing ball, and Orr cuts that one out quite comfortably. Gives it back to Keane, who still hasn't really had a save of note to make. That would be the encouraging thing, that for all Arsenal having control of the football, they haven't been able to fashion a chance. Gervinho breaks forward towards the edge of the penalty area, looks for Rosicky, sends him a little bit wide, hits Scott Dan, who was sliding in, and behind it goes for an Arsenal corner.
The crowd was certainly appealing for it. Rosicky just pulled away down the left. That's harsh to give that. Dan's on, down by his side, sliding in. Good decision from the referee, good spot. And again, Rovers sloppy in possession, trying to come forward and just give it away far too easily for a side like Arsenal to come and break.
Rosicky with a corner in towards Koscielny. Near post, falls for the Czech midfielder who whips it in, and Grant Hanley has to glance that one behind. Arsenal will have another set piece now from their right hand side, and you just sense that after a rather quiet start to the game, the pressure from the home side just starting to build.
Perhaps a good job that the pressure's coming from a corner that none of the Arsenal players want to come across and take. Finally, I think Oxlade-Chamberlain's coming across, but I'd much rather have Arsenal in set piece positions than having the football on the floor trying to break at pace.
Chamberlain is the man to take, right-footed, more of an outswinger. Pedersen miscues that one, and behind it goes for another set piece. Arsenal not looking too threatening when they whip the ball into the penalty area. Oxlade-Chamberlain once more height on this one, deep towards the back post. Koscielny with the header. This time he did beat Scott Dan in the air, but he couldn't get any real direction on it, and it was comfortably wide of target.
Decent pressure from Rovers in the area, deeper corner that time, and just managed to just get half a yard, I think, away from Scott Dan. There's a long way out to try and get the header on target. Decent connection on it. Missing their opportunities early on, Arsenal. They haven't tested Jake Keane yet.
I think Michael Appleton will be pleased, though. I know that Rovers haven't created a great deal at the other end, but much like the cup tie in 2007, perhaps it's more about keeping Arsenal quiet and stopping them scoring than it is about us getting too much control on the game. As Williamson just tracks down Diaby. A real chance this for Lee Williamson. I mean, it's a tough one to throw him in for his first start and say, right, go and perform at the Emirates. But if he does well, then he will certainly catch the eye and everybody will sit up and take note of what he's capable of doing.
We need some fresh legs in the centre of midfield today after all the games that Danny Murphy's been playing, but it's an opportunity for him to step in and make a case to the manager.
Williamson, short pass towards Pedersen. He's playing right hand side of the midfield. Hanley finds Williamson again, looking for options ahead of him. His ball towards Kazim Richards is cut out, and here come Arsenal with Rosicky, and now Gervinho peeling off to the left hand side, running it all, trying to commit it. Left hand corner of the box, now into the penalty area, still going Gervinho, trying to dart between two or three, had got back to cover him. The touch comes in and it rolls back nicely into the arms of Jake Keane.
Yeah, easy enough for Jake Keane there, and Rovers defence did well on Gervinho. He wanted to pass it across the edge of the penalty area. One of the Rovers men closing down that avenue as well as the one down the line. They did really well on him. It's a double up.
Long downfield, Rhodes has hardly had a touch thus far. Many were surprised that Jordan Rhodes actually started the game. He's played every match since he arrived at the club, and his return in terms of goals has been phenomenal for a side that's not as high up in the Championship as we would like to be. And I guess from a personal point of view, I bet he was knocking on the manager's door saying, I want to play. Gervinho looks for Monreal inside the penalty area. His cross right the way across the face of goal. It hits Martin Olsson. He wasn't quite sure who was behind him, and it goes behind for an Arsenal corner. Just in a blink of an eye, Arsenal can penetrate the back line. And Rovers again looking slightly nervy when defending. So Chamberlain from the right. A low ball, again a disappointing delivery, which Pedersen slides away. Out it goes, about 15 yards shy of halfway. And Coquelin finds Rosicky, Diaby. Back to Arteta. Spaniard, the former Everton man, finds the ball towards Chamberlain on the right hand side. Lovely cross in, had bend on it, looking for Olivier Giroud over his head. Again, all uncertain of what was waiting over his shoulder, so just clips it behind, and Arsenal almost camped inside that final third at the moment, have another set piece.
That's where it just needs a bit of communication from Jake Keane. There was no one anywhere near Bradley. Decent ball in, should have been defended better though.
Rosicky again deeper, or on the volley, clears away. Good distance on that one, brought down by Arteta, who handled. So Rovers will get the free kick. And again, despite Arsenal having plenty of the ball and spending plenty of time inside Rovers territory, what has Jake Keane had to do thus far?
He's had to do very little, and I think that'll be what pleases Michael Appleton. Obviously sent the players out there asking for them to put the performance in. They've certainly done that so far. They've crowded Arsenal out. They've restricted them to half chances in and around the penalty area. Let's hope it stays that way.
Oh, Keane, who's yet to concede a goal in the FA Cup this season after Rovers' victories over Bristol City in round 3 and Derby County in round 4. Kick forward or on halfway, beat Gervinho in the air, flipped forward by Monreal. Gervinho trying to keep that one in play, managed to do so. Orr's touch will take it out though, and Arsenal have the throw. Bradley Orr, who wasn't even at Rovers for rounds 3 and 4, he was on loan at Ipswich at the time. He's had his work cut out thus far with the pacey Gervinho. Monreal finds Rosicky on his right foot, back to Diaby, 30 yards from goal, urged to shoot, instead gave the ball away. Marcus Olsen picks up and just clips it down the line, looking for his brother Martin, who reads the bounce of it better than Oxlade-Chamberlain. He carries on his run. Oxlade-Chamberlain back in a defensive position, got the final touch, and that was poor work by the England man, and out of play it goes for a Rovers throw.
It's far too easy for Martin Olsen to nick it past Arteta in the first place, but great run down the left. You want commitment from your left back. When you get a throw in that position, you want to keep hold of the ball and not give it away sloppily like they have done. Just gift Arsenal possession back.
And what was encouraging there is that Martin Olsen just followed it all the way forward. Didn't just allow Arsenal to have the ball and back off, get deeper and deeper. He kept the pressure on. Now Marcus Olsen controls on his chest but can't keep the ball in play. And out it goes in the Arsenal right full-back area. Coquelin, one of the 7 changes to the Arsenal side. And a right full-back had to come in because Jenkinson is suspended for this game. Now Marcus Olsen darts forward. Coquelin it is who wins the ball back. Giroud feeds Diaby, one Frenchman to another. Now Oxlade-Chamberlain on the right-hand side. Kazim Richards strong in the challenge. And Arsenal have the throw. And we've played 20 minutes here at the Emirates Stadium. And it's still Arsenal 0, Rovers 0 in this FA Cup 5th round tie. Chamberlain finds Rosicky towards the feet of Gervinho, or tight behind him, got a foot in. Rosicky again. Quick 1-2 with Diaby, back to Diaby in the penalty area. And Orr just about recovered in time to slide the ball behind for an Arsenal corner. And that one of the few occasions when Arsenal have really threatened to cut Rovers open. Had a touch of fortune about it because it hit Diaby on the back of his heel and then nearly bounced very nicely for him. But Orr recovered well to deny any kind of goal-scoring opportunity. Rosicky with the corner. Sends that one in high. Too much air underneath that one. And Jake Keane with a very comfortable take, edge of his 6-yard box. I think the Rovers keeper would certainly have expected to be much busier than he has been in the opening quarter of this match. Keane kicks forward. Kazim Richards did just foul Coquelin. Took it down beautifully, but there'd been a nudge on the Arsenal man as he went for the header. So Mike Dean awards the home side the free kick. It's very quiet inside the Emirates Stadium. This game yet to really kick into life. Chamberlain finds Diaby. Monreal, left-hand side. Looks to be a very adventurous fullback. Rosicky takes over, looking to spread the game towards Coquelin, first time in field. Oxlade-Chamberlain takes over, thought about the shot, instead drives towards the corner of the penalty area. Lays it back to Diaby, who hits, didn't really make contact with that one. Dan blocks it away. Arteta finds Coquelin, one step over onto his left foot, deep cross, or Clears it outside the penalty area, didn't really need to play that one. Back it comes to Gervinho. Rosicky finds Diaby again. Arsenal going back before now. A short pass forward. Gervinho again. Goes beyond Orr. Cuts it back into the middle. Lowe slides that one away. Out to play on the far side. And Arsenal will have the throw. Scott Dann, the Rovers skipper, just limping at the moment inside the penalty area. The last thing we want is to pick up another injury in a cup game. Round 3 we lost Henley for a number of weeks from the hamstring problem. Round 4 Josh King, likewise hamstring for a few weeks. We certainly don't want that trend to continue. As behind it goes off Kazim Richards for another Arsenal corner.
It's been much better from Arsenal over the last few minutes, keeping hold of the ball, more one-touch stuff, down the left, down the right, a bit of variety. Rovers holding firm for the minute. They just need that bit of communication, that authority's figure in defence, whether Jake Keane, one of the centre-backs, just to decide whether to put it out or not.
Rosicky sends that one in. Keane punches away, only as far as Arteta, who brings it down into the penalty area. He bursts towards the goal line, and then again a poor cross, just floated it to the back post, and Pedersen touches it behind. And we're losing track of the number of corners Arsenal are getting at the moment. It just seems like it's one after another. The referee not quite happy where Rosicky had placed the ball. It's right in front of the Rovers fans who wanted it back inside the D. Now Rosicky takes right-footed. Diaby's header, brilliant save by Jake Keane. Well, they had to get a chance sooner or later from one of the set pieces. Good delivery from Thomas Rosicky. Diaby with an excellent header, and Jake Keane, right place, right time, stretched out, big left hand to turn that one behind for a corner.
That's a great save from Jake Keane, but there's no doubt about it. Diaby should score there, free header.
Chamberlain whips it in. It's Martin Olsen who heads away. Arteta gives Chamberlain another opportunity on the Arsenal right. Pedersen forcing him away from goal, but Oxlade-Chamberlain clips it down the right towards Rosicky. Now he can cross. High floated delivery towards the back post, or with a touch. Gervinho waits, edge of the penalty area, clips it back in. Dan powerfully away now. Can Kazim Richards hold the ball up and start a Rovers counter-attack? He looks for Orr, who slides that one down the right-hand side. Again, it can't find Rhodes. And I reckon we could count the number of touches that Jordan Rhodes has had in the opening 25 minutes, just shy of, on one hand.
It's because Arsenal very much keeping hold of the ball for the minute. Rovers drop deep, they're leaving Jordan Rhodes isolated up front, and when the balls go forward, it's just too easy for Arsenal to pick them off in midfield, or one of the centre-backs just come forward.
Well, Diaby, who's had Arsenal's best chance of the game. Quick 1-2 with Coquelin, midway inside Rovers territory. Finds Arteta, now Monreal. Gervinho takes over onto his right foot, looking for Diaby just outside the penalty area. The touch was heavy, and Williamson swept that one away. Koscielny, first time, finds Coquelin. Back to Oxlade-Chamberlain, who injects a bit of life into the move. Rosicky, back to Oxlade-Chamberlain, who has gone for goal himself there when Gervinho was making a very good run inside the penalty area, and it's a rather rueful look from the young Arsenal winger. In the end, his attempt from 2 or 3 yards outside the penalty area was well off target.
Well, the build-up play is decent from Arsene Wenger's team. There's just nothing in the final third at the minute, whether from corners, whether from moves coming forward on the ground. He'll be a little bit worried by the lack of clinicalness in the final third. We haven't seen much of Giroud. I know there's been players around him who've been quite influential, the likes of Oxlade-Chamberlain, Gervinho. To keep the centre forward isolated, Rovers are doing a decent job.
Well, Arteta just fouled Jordan Rhodes there after a loose pass, so Rovers have a free kick. And I think this is what Michael Appleton was saying before the game, that if we go there with the mindset that Arsenal will have lots of the ball, then you can deal with it. The key is how effective we can be when we have the opportunities to go forward. And set pieces certainly count as those. Pedersen is the man to take. Scored here last season in the 7-1 with a free kick. This too far out though, and he floats it in deep towards Dan. And Diaby missed his header, and that put off Scott Dann. Otherwise, that was a real chance, certainly for him to put the ball back into the penalty area, perhaps even to go for goal himself. But he knew it. He was almost outfoxed by the mistake from the Arsenal man.
I think it just took a touch off Diaby's head, skipped off it, and it was that little touch that just changed the flight of the ball. Scott Dan was well in behind. He had 2 or 3 yards of space. Unfortunate that from Rovers.
Scott Dan, who scored in each of Rovers' last 2 away games. One of those, of course, that absolute screamer at Derby in round 4 of the FA Cup. Also on target at Brighton with a header last time out. Rhodes, just though he might have been pushed there, doesn't get the decision. And Rovers lose the ball, and now there's space for Arsenal to counter into with Coquelin. Away from Marcus Olsen. Slides it through. Hanley steps in. Giroud was the intended target. Arteta finds Monreal. And the home side just starting to move the ball around a little bit quicker now. Clip towards Gervinho. Lovely touch. Tight on the touchline. Trying to run at Orr. Jockeying with him. Lays a low ball in. Rosicky dummied that one when he could have taken it in his stride. Hits the defender and goes behind. Just got down with a touch. Yet another Arsenal corner.
And most of the players since Bradley always picked up his yellow cards come down the far side, and Gervinho seems to be having an ever-increasing impact on this game.
Rosicky high towards the back post, and Vermaelen loops towards goal, and Jake Keane parries that one behind for a corner. It was just creeping in. It was a really awkward header. In the end, a pretty awkward save from Jake Keane, but it was ultimately effective, and that's all that matters from Rovers' point of view. Rosicky again, Vermaelen attacks again. Will come for Rosicky once more. Flatter delivery this time, kept alive by Koscielny, and there's been a clash in the penalty area. I think Vermaelen's foot was a little bit high, and the Rovers defender, Bradley Orr, is down on the ground. I think it's some degree of discomfort there.
Certainly not that one. That's the save from Keane. The resulting corner here, Rosicky. Ball went. Oh, I think someone's just took a swipe at him. He's got one right on his knee. I think that Bradley Orr, perhaps a little bit lower down. I've seen a yellow card given for that.
That's a sore one. I think it might be more a dead leg than anything being twisted or sprained. Yeah, he caught the full force of Thomas Vermaelen's left boot there. And David Bentley, former Arsenal man, of course, back at Rovers. He's just gone for a little run up and down the touchline. Very popular player during his first spell at Ewood Park. Perhaps not so with the way that he left the club, but someone of undoubted quality.
Certainly someone that could make an impact and a difference in a game like this if he gets the opportunity and if he's fit enough. But Rovers going forward, they haven't really seen much of Pedersen down the right hand side. Equally saw Marcus Olsen down the left, the 2 centre midfield players getting both stuck in. You just feel that Rovers might have to try and come forward at some point.
Oxlade-Chamberlain cuts infield, held up by Pedersen, but Oxlade-Chamberlain still going, and having wriggled away from the challenge, overcooked his pass, and behind it goes for a goal kick. Past the half-hour mark now, and Jake Keane's had 2 saves from headers from Arsenal corners, both of which you would probably expect him to make. Other than that, not a great deal. I mean, at the other end, Wojciech Szczesny could have had the deck chair out, couldn't he? He's had that little to do. But I don't suppose that will concern Michael Appleton at the moment. Marcus Olsen trying to get beyond Coquelin. Coquelin's done well just to stick with him and make the challenge. The throw taken quickly by Kazim Richards, looking for Martin Olsen. Low finds Williamson in field, or inside the centre circle. Clips it out towards the right-hand side. Pedersen had naturally drifted back towards his fullback, looking to cover him, and the ball just floats out of play for an Arsenal throw. Arsenal beat Brighton in round 4 of the FA Cup, so it could have been 2 trips to the south coast for Rovers in just a few days had that game ended differently. Giroud scoring a couple of good goals on that occasion, but he's been very, very quiet, hasn't he?
If you compare this game to the one against Brighton, Rovers have been let off quite easily. I know Arsenal have had a lot of possession, but the pressure that Rovers have been put on is nothing like they were against Brighton.
Well, the opposition team have probably had as much of the ball, but I'll suggest Brighton used it a little bit better. Diaby gets fortunate there, as Rose couldn't make full use of a slip. Now Gervinho, midway inside the Rovers territory, goes for the 1-2 with Giroud, then theatrically went to ground, claiming that he'd been fouled by Williamson, and now Williamson having a word in the referee's ear, saying that was a dive. Mike Dean in the end ignoring everybody and letting the game carry on. Low intercepts, loose pass by Coquelin, feeds Marcus Olsen, left hand side, what's the cross like? Blocked initially by Coquelin. Lowe still giving chase, but Arteta has it back inside his own penalty area. Szczesny, right-footed, completes the clearance up to halfway, where both Hanley and Williamson missed that one. Williamson did really well there, won the ball back and then flicked it forward. It actually strikes him as it bounces back in his direction, and again the handball given in Arsenal's favour. Now Monreal has a bit of space to move into on halfway. Back to Vermaelen. Square to Koscielny. Classic Arsenal working the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. Giroud. Oxlade-Chamberlain infield toward the tall French striker who joined Arsenal in the summer. A switch of play, all's underneath that one. His header only reaches Diaby. There seems to be a big gap between the midfield and the Rovers strikers at the moment. Gervinho on the left-hand side. Quick 1-2 with Rosicky. Gervinho now opens the game up, finds Arteta. He looks for Coquelin on the right. Crosses with his right foot. Deep delivery towards the back post. Over the head of Giroud. Pedersen, right-footed, hooks that one downfield. Now Rovers fancy a counter-attack. It's with Rhodes up over halfway. Just Kazim Richards in support at the moment. Still going Rhodes, just outside the penalty area. Diaby tracked him and got the challenge in, and has won the ball back cleanly. And in the end, Rose just desperate to get any kind of sniff of goal there, wasn't he? Felt that he had to do it all himself. Oxlade-Chamberlain looks in field towards Gervinho. One step over. Williamson sticking with him. Oxlade-Chamberlain didn't control as neatly as he would have liked. Rosicky finds Oxlade-Chamberlain back on the right-hand side. Now can he produce from a wide area? The cross ends up being on target. He was looking for Giroud, but it was far too close to Jake Keane. Again collected about waist height, a yard from goal. You could just sense the home supporters getting a bit frustrated that despite all the possession that Arsenal are having, they're not able to carve out too many clear-cut chances.
I think they'll have expected to come here today and see Arsenal control possession, but also create some chances, and it'll be that's disappointing the home fans at the minute. I know they've got plenty of attacking talent on the pitch, but it's the way that Rovers are defending that's keeping them well away from the goal.
What we really need is a goal for Rovers in this, just to try and spice things up a little bit. That would certainly give the game a different dimension. Oxlade-Chamberlain inside the final 10 minutes of the first half finds Coquelin on the right-hand side. Martin Olsen keeping tabs on him and forcing him away from goal. Arteta and Oxlade-Chamberlain trying to work an opening, but so far unable to do so. So Oxlade-Chamberlain switches play towards Monreal, 30 yards out, shoots from distance, decent hit which has been deflected on its way by Lee Williamson, ended up a good few yards off target. Keane knew it was going wide. As soon as he got the ball there, he thought things aren't working, the tippy-tappy stuff, let's try a shot from distance, and Arsenal's reward is a corner. Rosicky takes into the middle, attacked by Giroud. Williamson half clears, and now pressures Gervinho outside the penalty area, back to Arteta. And Rosicky who waits on the left-hand side. Gervinho takes over once more, 25 yards from goal, now into the penalty area, trying to take on Lowe, who's stuck with him all the way. Little cross into the penalty area. Lowe should clear, Williamson helps him out and sends it towards Kazim Richards. Nice touch, a little bit short of support again, going infield. does well, gives it all the way back to Jake Keane in the end. And that's where the front two can help out. Holding the ball up like that, making sure that every time it goes downfield, it doesn't automatically go straight back to Arsene Wenger's side.
Yeah, brilliant hold-up play initially by Kazim Richards down the right. Everybody knew he was there, the pass went forward. Great composure just to hold it up and just keep hold of possession.
Oh, Hanley's ball forward, Marcus Olsen giving chase, and it bounced right on the edge of the penalty area, and Chesney, uncertain what to do there, had to head that one out of play for a Rovers throw. Taken quickly, Kazim Richards then miscontrols, and he immediately puts his head in his hands with a wry smile. The frustrating thing is that we haven't had too many opportunities to do anything inside the Arsenal half, and you can't really afford to be doing things like that. Diaby's pass was loose. Martin Olsen. Now Orr give it back to Jake Keane. Right-footed. He looks towards Pedersen, who's been quiet. He wins the header. Rhodes takes over for Marlon's touch. Out of play it goes for a Rovers throw. And the whole game plan at the moment seems based around defend as stoutly as possible and hope that the one chance falls for Jordan Rhodes at some point.
Well, you never know, it might work, and when Rovers do get hold of the ball, they're trying to get it forward quickly, isolate Rhodes, Kazim Richards up front against the two Arsenal centre-backs. They're just not keeping hold of the ball for long enough to mount the pressure on the Arsenal goal at times.
Well, again, it doesn't stick, having gone in towards Rhodes from the throw. Martin Olsen clips it forward. Marcus Olsen chases and puts a little header into a really good area, but Pedersen had just run beyond it, and Arsenal able to clear. That was half a chance again. The defending not too clever from the home side. As it's picked up by Oxlade-Chamberlain, tries to run Jason Lowe. Hanley comes across and the two Rovers men end up colliding, and it was a big challenge there. Well, I think Lowe won Hanley in the end. Thankfully both men back to their feet, but that could have ended badly. Slight lack of communication, and I think Hanley was looking for Rose Ed, and Lowe was confident we could keep the ball. Arteta 1-2 with Rosicky again forward towards the Czech midfielder. In it goes to the penalty area. Dan volleys away. Arteta's touch will find Oxlade-Chamberlain. Arteta takes over once more. Coquelin on the right. He could cross from here. Into the penalty area goes. Back onto his left foot. Went to ground wanting a penalty. And the referee says no. Martin Olsen dangled out of foot. Coquelin went over it. Crossed into the penalty area by Koscielny now. Monreal finds Gervinho, 20 yards out, right-footed shot all the way along the ground, slightly scuffed, and in the end comfortably wide of target. But in amongst all that, Arsenal were appealing for a penalty. The end result was the Gervinho shot, which was weak. But Coquelin certainly asked the question of the referee before that.
Well, for me, Martin Olsen's got his right foot on the ball there. Probably that saves him. Coquelin runs straight into him. He's got no intention of trying to run after the ball there. I mean, yet again, I think Mike Dean well positioned to make the right decision. Perhaps could have been booked for diving, yeah. Easily went down, but seems to be keeping his cards in his pocket for the time being, Mike Dean, and maybe that's going to help the game flow a little bit.
Well, my first thought there was, oh, that could be a penalty. And then having seen it again, I do think Olsen gets a little touch on it, which is the key. But Martin Olsen and Mike Dean have history, favourable history from Rovers' point of view. The East Lancashire derby a couple of seasons ago at Turf Moor, Martin Olsen went over under a challenge of Brian Jensen. Rovers got the penalty, David Dunn scored it, and we won the match. Replays didn't do Martin Olsen too many favours. Rosicky just over halfway now. 3.5 minutes of the first half remaining. He looked towards Monreal, who was forward on the left-hand side, didn't find him. And out it goes. The Rovers will have the throw deep in our fullback area, and at the moment, Michael Appleton must be praying we can get to half-time with a scoreline still at 0-0. Arsene Wenger in his long jacket, wrapping up warm today. Looks frustrated. I'm not sure he ever doesn't look frustrated, if you know what I mean, but he looks particularly so. Koscielny finds Coquelin. Again, the ball not sticking as Rovers clear it forward. Arteta to the feet of Rosicky. Been neat and tidy without threatening too much. Looking towards Giroud, all steps in. And now Lowe finds Marcus Olsen. In turn, Kazim Richards picks up on halfway. Rhodes calling for it. And Kazim Richards arrowing the ball towards Rovers' top scorer. Couldn't find him. Vermaelen. Back in field towards Arteta. I wonder whether Michael Appleton will be concerned at the lack of goal threat from Rovers in this first period. Slid forward towards Gervinho, who puts it wide. Golden opportunity for Arsenal. They've not created too many clear-cut chances. That was a golden opportunity. Certainly onside Gervinho when the ball was worked through. Just right of centre, but not by much. He's beat Jake Keane, but also beaten the far post by a couple of feet.
Well, that's what you get when the Arsenal forwards interchange. Rosicky, great ball through. Gervinho got goal side of Hanley. He really should score there. Jake Keane's come out, done well to narrow the angle down. It's a missed opportunity, and maybe his head's still in the African Cup of Nations.
Well, some Arsenal fans might argue that his head's never been here at the Emirates. It's not exactly been a rip-roaring success. A Lowe coming forward. Oxlade-Chamberlain with the initial challenge, and Arsenal have the ball back, looking threatening end of the first half. Slid forward, Giroud will chase. He should get there and keep the ball in play. Jockeying with Orr, gets it onto his left foot. Low cross into the middle, and Keane spills initially, then recovers to collect with Oxlade-Chamberlain lurking. And it's every time Rovers look to go forward, Arsenal spring at pace, and that's when they're at the most threatening on the counter-attack.
It's where they can punish you. They've got the talent to come forward at pace, and when you move the team around, perhaps Giroud onto the left-hand side, as he has been doing over the last few minutes, and Gervinho down the middle are dangerous.
Lowe has brought down Giroud, having given the ball away initially. A quick word from the referee. Perhaps a touch fortunate it wasn't a yellow card there, but it gives Arsenal the free kick. Well, a good 30 yards, probably a couple more away from goal. Not with too much time added at the end of the first half, I wouldn't thought. So this might be one of the final chances. And Arsene Wenger will be a little bit concerned, seeing Giroud stay down on the ground like that. And he finally does get back up. I don't think there was anything too serious about it. Just wanted a little rest there, the Frenchman. There'll be one added minute at the end of the first half. And we're in added time now as Arteta lines up the free kick. Four-man wall for Rovers. Arteta fancies this one though. Spaniard lines it up, now moves forward, right-footed. Good hit, straight down Jake Keane's throat though. Got his angles right, and he's made the save look very, very comfortable in the end.
Yeah, he did well there, Jake Keane. Saw it nice and early over the wall. Got his body right behind it. Never any danger that was going through him. Two safe hands. That might well be it for half-time.
Oh, Keane clears downfield, and Mike Dean says, yep, that's enough for the first half. And Rovers can be very, very pleased with the amount of effort and work that's gone into the first half performance. Particularly pleased that we've managed to stop Arsenal scoring in the first half. Jake Keane has made two excellent saves, one from Diaby and one from Vermaelen, both headers. The best chance of the first half fell to Gervinho, clean through just before half-time, right-footed. He sent it just beyond the far post. Rovers' only opportunity of note, a Marcus Olsen volley, which he put wide. Arsenal should be ahead courtesy of Gervinho. They're not. Half-time in the FA Cup fifth round at the Emirates Stadium. It's Arsenal 0, Rovers 0. Well, the two teams on their way back out at the Emirates Stadium for the second half of this FA Cup fifth round tie in association with Budweiser. At the break, Arsenal 0, Rovers 0. A crowd of over 60,000 are inside the stadium today. Certainly a sellout in the away section. Great backing for Rovers thus far, and they will certainly have appreciated the endeavour and the commitment, the work rate from Michael Appleton's side in that first half. Jake Keane did have to pull off a couple of excellent saves, but you would expect that coming to a stadium like the Emirates and facing a side like Arsenal. The key is, can we hold on to that clean sheet for as long as possible? Can we produce a moment of magic that would enable us to go on and win the game? I would suspect neither manager particularly wants a replay and another game with both sides having busy fixture schedules in the upcoming weeks. So expect the next 45 minutes to be action-packed as both sides go for the victory. And we are underway in the second half here, with Rovers now kicking from left to right, more towards the travelling supporters, about 1,400 of them inside the Emirates. The Rovers team unchanged from the way we started the match, with Keane in goal, and it's Ordan Hanley and Martin Olsen at the back, Pedersen, Williamson, Lowe and Marcus Olsen midfield, Kazim Richards and Rhodes up top. Arsenal in a minute, but they're coming forward with Coquelin in towards the near post area. Dan, the captain on the day for Rovers, heads away. Oxlade-Chamberlain has a chance to cross and whips it in. Too close again to the Rovers keeper, and more groans from the Arsenal supporters as Jake Keane makes a very comfortable take. Now Arsenal with Chesney in goal, and it's Coquelin, Koscielny, Van Malen and Monreal at the back. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Arteta, Diaby and Gervinho in midfield. Rosicky playing just in behind Olivier Giroud. Kazim Richards with the flick, didn't quite find Rhodes. Marcus Olsen putting Coquelin under pressure. He's done really well. Now breaks forward towards the corner of the penalty area. In towards Rhodes! Oh, he took a touch off the defender, Vermaelen, and goes behind for a Rovers corner. And Jordan Rhodes was lurking at the back post there. Had it not been for Vermaelen's touch, that could have been Rhodes and Rovers' moment.
Well, it could have easily gone in the back of the net off Vermaelen, but it's great defending. Sticks his right foot out, comes off it, and Rhodes is right behind him, ready to tap that one home. Brilliant pressure from Marcus Olsen in the build-up.
Pedersen with the corner, left-footed, deep towards the back post. Dan keeps it alive, low attack, so it loops over Rhodes' head. Cleared away by Arteta, still in the penalty area. Flick forward as Arsenal clear away. Orr's there, and the free kick, I think, has gone against Grant Hanley for his challenge as Arsenal were clearing the ball. But another chance from the corner. Dan kept it alive, and it was Jason Lowe's header. Just needed a bit more on it.
Fell to him quite invitingly round about the penalty spot. Decent contact on the header. You imagine Chesney would have come and claimed that one if Arteta hadn't been there. Just caused a little bit of panic in the Arsenal penalty area there. It all came from a Scott Dan header at the far post.
It was one of those that you just wanted your centre forward to gamble on that one and get the touch. Rhodes wasn't too far away. Great to see Rovers creating a couple of chances right at the start of this second half. But now Arsenal come forward. Martin Olsen just slides the ball behind, and Arsenal have the corner, and now it feels like a real cup tie. End-to-end stuff here at the Emirates. Still goalless though. Early exchanges in the second period, and Oxlade-Chamberlain will take from the Arsenal right. That's the cue for Vermaelen and Koscielny to go forward. Giroud's header though was on target, and Keane makes the save. Just peeled away from his marker there, Olivier Giroud. Good direction on it. Again, he's just having to come away from goal, isn't he? And that just means he can't really get enough power to properly test the Rovers keeper.
He's done really well to get it on target there, Giroud. Whether it was sort of a flicked on header up towards one of the other players in the penalty area, I'm not sure. Even now, Rovers can't keep hold of the ball up front, and Arsene Wenger's obviously sent out Arsenal with a few harsh words in this second half. They've been a bit more direct and a few more chances even now.
I would suspect they've had a rocket, and I will think they will certainly want to create more than they did in the first half. Certainly had enough possession, didn't make the most of it. Rosicky inside right channel, moving more central. Just turns back and looks towards the right-hand side. Coquelin Oxlade-Chamberlain has drifted away, so Coquelin moves infield, still going. Little reverse pass towards Giroud, who was flagged offside. Keane came out and collected regardless. And Giroud's come to life, started the second half, when, for the majority of the first, you hardly noticed he was on the pitch.
Good decision that from Sean Massey as well. Jake Keane coming out, smothering the ball regardless. He's a big figure, Giroud, and I expected him to be more involved in that first half. They didn't get the ball to him anywhere near as often as I thought they would.
Marcus Olsen now left-hand side, whips the cross in, deflected behind, and Rovers have a corner. There were a few appeals from the supporters that was handball. Referee Mike Dean, who does like to give penalties, decided not so on that occasion. Two set pieces inside the opening 5 minutes of the second half, and a really warm reception for Pedersen, who will take the corner from right in front of the Rovers supporters. Hanley's forward, Dan's forward, low, Rhodes, Kazim Richards all in there. It's towards Dan, cleared away. Gervinho controls on his chest, and now Arsenal looking to counter. Marcus Olsen doesn't get the challenge. Vermaelen breaking forward. Martin Olsen got there first, and then he was just taken out by Vermaelen. Good covering by the Swedish international there, and Rovers will get the free kick.
Yeah, he did really well. He was the last man, so needed to get something on it. Well, that's commitment from the Arsenal captain there, Vermaelen. Right forward from centre-back, trying to close Rovers down, giving them no time on the ball. Might be a bit back to the wall in this second half.
It's better though from Rovers, certainly more positive going forward. I just wonder whether it needed a solid first half to give everybody that belief to think, yeah, you know what, we could come here and win this game. Arteta's touch a little bit heavy, he gets away with it with Kazim Richards lurking. Arteta up towards halfway as Rovers drop off, opens the game up. A rangy ball towards Oxlade-Chamberlain, brings it down on his chest, now runs at Marcus Olsen, he's away from him, sends the cross in deep, very deep. Giroud can't quite keep that one in. Behind it's gone for a goal kick. And again, Arsenal can sort of work the opening, but it's that final ball. And Oxlade-Chamberlain has been the guilty party more often than not. The final delivery just not right.
So just out of play that, and I think Jake Keane was a little bit lucky that it hit him as well at the near post, but it's obviously gone out of play. Service towards the penalty area. At times it's been okay, there's just been a lack of players in there from Arsenal, and you expect Giroud to be there alongside maybe Rizeki, but there's not too much height.
Pedersen's header. Arteta able to collect. Can't pick the forward pass that one. Marcus Olsen rolls it all the way back to Jake Keane, who right-footed kicks downfield. Kazim Richards battling with Arteta. Good strength. Too strong for the Arsenal man. Now he needs a bit of support. He claims that he was fouled by Diaby. The referee says no. Kazim Richards looks frustrated. Arteta flicks forward. Rizeki on his chest. Low tie behind him. Finds Monreal. Now Gervinho, who's wasted the game's best opportunity near the end of the first half. Diaby takes over again. Bit of space for Gervinho now. Looking for options. Slides it to Rizeki. Now Oxlade-Chamberlain inside the penalty area. Away from one. Shoots. Blocked. Again, sheer bodies. Numbers of them back for Rovers, denying Arsenal a real sight of goal. Oxlade-Chamberlain receives the ball from the throw. Works it in field. Rizeki back to Coquelin, who will cross into the penalty area. Dan stoops to head away. Kazim Richards beats Vermaelen with his jump and will chase his own flick. Koscielny just got there first. Kazim Richards was herring after that one. Rizeki again turns midway inside Rovers territory, looking for options ahead to the feet of Giroud. The little layoff picked off by Dan. Arteta and Diaby, a little bit of keep ball between them. Now Diaby again towards the feet of Giroud. Gervinho brings it away from goal. Too many touches for Arsenal's liking. Take them away from Jake Keane. Now Diaby just outside the penalty area, urged to shoot. Arsenal fans desperate for some end product. Arteta then looking for Monreal, could only find Pedersen, who clears it out of play, and Arsenal will have the throw. And pretty stuff. If you want to watch the team keep hold of the ball, then great, watch Arsenal, but in terms of end product, not a great deal at the moment.
How did Pedersen do as well then? On the right hand side, he knew there was someone behind him, had to get a touch on it. Okay, the clearance went straight out of play, but at least it soaked up the Arsenal pressure and got rid of the ball.
It's a rather dispiriting thing from Rovers' point of view, is that you look at the Arsenal bench and you see the quality of players they've got there. Gervinho darting infield, Williamson did well, good challenge up towards Rhodes, who was being fouled by Arteta, and Rovers get the free kick. That was better. All round, good tracking by Williamson, and then good hold-up play by Jordan Rhodes. And the Arsenal bench, if Arsene Wenger really wants, he won't want to use them, but he's got Podolski, he's got Wilshere, he's got Walcott, Ramsey, Cazorla. Not a bad few to have there, is it?
Well, he said that he wouldn't play Wilshere unless he was 100% fit, so he'd probably be the one that you wouldn't expect to come on if things aren't going your way. But I mean, pace with Walcott, he's Arsenal's top scorer this year, and Podolski's certainly got a good left foot.
A free kick into the penalty area, Kazim Richards battling for it. Arsenal scramble the ball away. They don't look too convincing at the back. Every time the ball goes into the box, you feel Rovers have a chance.
Interesting to see how the Kazim Richards tussles are just being let go by the referee as well. He's allowing the physical presence. Good refereeing, in my opinion, by Mike Dean.
Diaby square towards Arteta, and Arsenal building from deep. Arteta allowed up towards halfway and just inside Rovers territory. Then the pressure comes. He finds Gervinho, drifts back into a very crowded central area. Diaby finds Gervinho, who's wandering off that left-hand side in this second half. Coquelin finds Diaby, urged to shoot from distance. Good strike. It's off target in the end, but just for a split second, Jake Keane was worried. No one came out to close Abu Diaby down. He can strike them from distance. A right of centre, quick look. Nobody fancied it, so he struck himself in the end, comfortably off target.
So a lot further wide than I thought it was initially from Abu Diaby then. So much space on the edge of the penalty area, someone had to track him then. I think Jake Keane was slightly out of position as well. He was scrambling across his goal. Always confident that was going wide though.
Kazim Richards once more wins the header. Rhodes battling away, it'll fall for Marcus Olsen. Little touch to Kazim Richards. More excellent strength, he really is a presence up there for Rovers. Clipped out towards Pedersen and or Bradley Orr on the right hand side, can't find either. And out of play it goes. Ironic sort of cheers there from the Arsenal fans, but I think that's more frustration that their side aren't able to do anything too meaningful. Arteta finds Monreal, who started very brightly and didn't seem to get forward that much towards the end of the first half. Arsenal's recent signing in the January transfer window finds Oxlade-Chamberlain, Rosicky towards Diaby. He stretched but couldn't take it in his stride. Now Orr clips down the right-hand channel towards Rhodes for Marler's touch. Out of play it goes, and Rovers have the throw. And we've now played over 12 minutes in the second half, just shy of the hour mark here at the Emirates, and it's still Arsenal 0, Rovers 0.
And Arsene Wenger is getting a little bit agitated on the bench as well. He doesn't look happy, a little bit angry, and it's not for the first time in his career against Rovers that's happened.
We said right at the start about the cup meeting between the two sides here at the Emirates that ended goalless, and this one heading that way at the moment. Kazim Richards trying to do something about that. Positive. Finds Orr between the legs of Arteta. Vermaelen across to clear downfield. You just sense Rovers growing in confidence. Oxlade-Chamberlain inside his own half, cuts away from one and a second, looking to open the game up. Clips it behind Coquelin, who turns and controls, still shy of halfway. Infield towards Diaby, a bit of space on the Arsenal right. Gervinho picks up, again drives infield though, away from two. Giroud, edge of the penalty area, clips it left, comes off Pedersen, nearly fell for Gervinho, and in turn Monreal, and it was Orr inside the penalty area who sweeps behind, and Arsenal have another corner. A couple of deflections nearly favouring the home side. Rosicky with the set piece into the near post towards Giroud. Pedersen heads high in the air, attacked by Diaby, who got a good run at that one when everyone else was stationary. in the end made too good a contact with the ball, and it floats over the top by a good foot or so.
Well, he's the one who the chances are falling to for Arsenal. Diaby there, 8 yards out, header always going over the top. Jake Keane a little bit caught in no man's land, but with Diaby's heart in there, you almost expect him to win those headers. Good job from Rovers' point of view, they haven't been on target.
Keane kicks forward, very much like the first half. I've not had a great deal to do at the beginning of the period, if you know what I mean. It was later on that he had to make a couple of saves in the first half. So it's quiet, very quiet inside the Emirates. There's Diaby looking for options, finds Gervinho on the right-hand side. Coquelin outside him, good crossing opportunity, sends it in deep towards Giroud, held that one up. Oxlade-Chamberlain went for the acrobatic attempt, and he's miles off target. Looked good, but never came close there to threatening Jake Keane.
Well, it's desperate. First touch of desperation from Arsenal. Giroud couldn't get above it. Oxlade-Chamberlain was always going to struggle to get that on target and test Jake Keane when there was so many bodies around him there. It's frustration from Arsenal. They've come out in the second half and things haven't really changed.
Well, I just wonder who will be the first manager to show their hand. Who will be the first to blink and make a substitution? I suspect it might be Arsene Wenger, the way things are going. Rhodes, good control on his chest, finds Williamson, darts beyond two, finds Pedersen, who's onside, back onto his left foot, low ball in. Vermaelen volleys that one back out of play on the near side. Rovers have the throw, and this one set up really for a Pedersen long throw. And Scott Dan and Grant Hanley there were called for. The centre forwards called for the reinforcements in the shape of the centre backs.
Everybody's back for Arsenal as well.
Pedersen has got a good run up at this one. 4 to aim for in the middle, a couple a little bit deeper. Diaby heads away, Williamson kept that alive, Dan still battling for it. Pedersen just helps it back into the box. Giroud, good head away, Williamson's there once more. Hanley still going back into the penalty area. Koscielny very calmly guides the header back to Szczesny. And better from Arsenal in terms of their defending. Arteta looking to turn just shy of halfway. A little roar there from the Arsenal fans who just wanted a quick counter. Diaby still in possession. I may have been wrong about which manager will blink first. I think it will be Rovers. I think it will be Bentley. Or clears away edge of the penalty area. Kazim Richards will put Vermaelen under pressure. Back to Szczesny he goes.
Just wonder if it's going to be Marcus Olsen. He looks really tired out on the left-hand side and be a direct replacement.
It'd be like the old days, wouldn't it? Pedersen one side, Bentley the other. The next break in play. Expect to see the start of David Bentley's second spell at Rovers. Rosicky to the feet of Arteta. Rosicky slides it down the left-hand side, looking for Monreal. Nice idea, just too much on the pass, and it runs behind, and that will be a goal kick. We said earlier, is this the script? Is this the FA Cup story? Right in front of us. And David Bentley returning to Rovers, set to face the club where he started his career. And the change will be Marcus Olsen going off. And on comes the England international David Bentley.
Decent reception for Marcus Olsen, put in a shift on that left-hand side. But great to see David Bentley back in a Rovers shirt, and I'm sure the Rovers fans would agree. The Arsenal fans perhaps less so.
Well, a mixed reception to say the very least. Boos from the Arsenal fans, a standing ovation from the Rovers supporters, and if there are any doubts in David Bentley's mind as to how well he'd be received by the Rovers fans returning to the club, then they've just gone, because that was a fabulous reception. Now, what can he do on the pitch? He gets his first touch now. Back to, or you might know when he's in possession, given the reaction from the Arsenal supporters. Bentley playing right-hand side, of course. Pedersen has gone to the left. Gervinho tracked by Lowe. Just fell over. Lowe just too strong for him. Martin Olsen takes over and gallops down the left-hand side. Little kick and run for himself. Koscielny chips that one back forward into a bit of space. Arteta takes over and finds Monreal. Oxlade-Chamberlain has switched to the Arsenal left now. No joy against Martin Olsen. He'll try his luck against Orr. It drifts infield, back towards the right though. Rosicky takes over, allowed to move forward and shoots. Right-footed attempt from outside the penalty area. Again, he's a good few yards off target. Too much time and space to measure the shot, thankfully. Arsenal wasteful from distance.
I think you might expect better as well from Rosicky there, edge of the penalty area. At an angle, dragged his shot. If someone had been there, it was a simple tap-in. And at the end, a few yards wide, and Rovers again successfully propelling this Arsenal pressure.
We've played 65 minutes now at the Emirates Stadium, and it's still Arsenal 0, Rovers 0 in this FA Cup 5th round tie. Gervinho looks for Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think Arsenal are going to ring the changes. Looks like Cazorla's been called back as the cross comes in, and Keane takes very comfortably. I think it might be a triple change, in fact. I think Cazorla, Wilshere and Walcott have all been called back.
Just for the last 25 minutes as well, when Rovers had the extra game on Tuesday against Brighton. I wonder how the fitness levels are. They'll certainly have to keep the levels up to stay in this game.
Oh, here come the big guns as Rhodes and Kazim Richards combine, and Rhodes just loses out at the crucial moment. Oxlade-Chamberlain flicks that one infield to Coquelin. Return to the former Southampton man, Oxlade-Chamberlain. Giroud, edge of the penalty area, holds up to Rosicky on the left-hand side. Outside of his right foot, sends it in deep. Pedersen controls and turns, and right-footed. Clears high in the air, decent distance on it. Monreal back to the feet of Oxlade-Chamberlain. Lowe blocks that route. Arteta tries again, looking for Monreal. Too sure whether he miscontrolled that one or dummied it, but Dan comes across and clears out of play. Van Arsenal will have the throw, and is this the cue for the changes? Doesn't look like it. So much admin that needs to go on with so many changes that we're not quite ready. Arteta, left of centre, finds Rosicky slightly infield, able to shoot. Great strike, he's hit the crossbar. Just over 20 yards out. That was a terrific hit from Thomas Rosicky, and he has rattled the frame of Rovers' goal.
That's a great strike. So much space again for Rosicky once he cuts inside. I don't think Jake Keane's getting anywhere near that one. Thunders off the crossbar, and the Arsenal fans thought that was in.
Arteta slides forward to Rosicky again. That's got the Arsenal fans going, looking for Giroud. Lowe's touch, Giroud there once more, just outside the penalty area. Right-hand corner of the box, finds Gervinho. Coquelin's made a run infield. Flip back forward towards Gervinho, it's behind him. Pedersen desperately trying to clear under pressure from Giroud. He's done well initially. Giroud's touch though. Gervinho tight on the goal line, lays it back towards Olivier Giroud. Crossed into the middle where Jake Keane is able to collect. Pedersen breathes a sigh of relief. Shouldn't really have lost it where he did. In the end, the Arsenal attack comes to nothing.
Good goalkeeping from Jake Keane there, just when you want your keeper to come out, relieve the pressure, he did. Not quite sure what Pedersen was doing, playing it back across towards his own penalty area when the option was there just to hoof it upfield. Imagine him, Rosicky might well be one of the changes perhaps. Certainly come the closest that Arsenal have.
So Rosicky on halfway, drives forward now, away from Lowe, slides it into the path of Gervinho in the penalty area. Great recovery, challenge there from Grant Hanley as Gervinho was about to pull the trigger, and he gets the crucial touch and sends it behind for a corner.
Brilliant defending again, a good ball to find Gervinho. Just dangles his leg in there, it comes off him. Great defending. I don't think it was going to beat Keane, the shot, sort of side-footed it, Gervinho.
Corner from the right in towards the near post. Pedersen meets it, clears away. Rolls will try and get there. Forces it back to Coquelin. And now Oxlade-Chamberlain away from Williamson, who we've not mentioned a great deal. Infield to Diaby, who shoots right-footed, spilled by Keane initially, collects edge of the 6-yard box at the second attempt. And another Arsenal attempt from distance is ultimately repelled. Kazim Richards looks infield, can't find Bentley. Williamson slid in, but Diaby got there first, and now it's through towards Giroud. Dan steps in, commanding at the back for Rovers again. Low finds Pedersen, and now Martin Olsen advanced on the left-hand side, crosses in. Vermaelen heads high in the air. Rhodes will try and get there, battling away with Szczesny. No foul on the keeper, says the referee. Picked up by Pedersen. Still Rovers press, right-footed cross in. Koscielny heads away. Williamson down to Bentley, looking for a bit of space. Gives it back to Lowe. Under pressure from Rosicky, and out it goes, and Rovers will get the throw. Well, again, Mike Dean there, allowing the game to go on when he could easily have given the free kick. Well, 20 minutes remaining, just under. Cue the triple change for Arsenal. So the first change is Rosicky is going off, and coming on is Jack Wilshere. And 7 off, 10 on, and it's Gervinho. Huge cheers as he's replaced. He's replaced by Theo Walcott. And then it's Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, the third and final change for Arsenal. And number 19, Santi Cazorla, coming on.
That's a massive change to your forward line. Imagine Cazorla will come out to the left-hand side, Wilshere more central role, and Walcott down the right, try and test his pace against Martin Olsen. I just wonder how long he will stay out there, though, with Bradley Orr on a yellow card at right back.
So Arsenal going for it now, no doubt about it. Can Rovers stay strong? Martin Olsen shoots into the penalty area. Kazim Richards, great chance. Rovers lead at the Emirates. Colin Kazim Richards scores. Martin Olsen's shot, beaten away by Szczesny, fell to Kazim Richards, who played it down into the ground. And just for an agonising second, it looked as though it might dribble wide. It's hit the inside of the post and gone in. And just as Arsene Wenger has thrown on his big guns to try and win this game, it's Rovers who've hit the front at the Emirates. 18 minutes remaining. We could have a huge shock on our hands here. It's Arsenal 0, Rovers 1.
Well, you wouldn't have seen that one coming. Not the best of saves and pushes out by Szczesny. Kazim Richards is there. It's not a clean finish, but that doesn't matter. Rovers fans absolutely celebrating that one, as Kazim Richards did. With the way that the game's gone, it was probably going to take a counter-attack to open the scoring. You might not have put it down for Rovers to get it, though.
Well, would you believe it? Arsenal have been in control of this game from the first minute. They've not created too many opportunities. Those they have done, they've missed. Now Monreal at the other end as Arsenal look for an immediate response. Cleared behind by Scott Dan. And now a test for Rovers. Bear in mind, only conceded 2 in our last 5 games, and they've both been penalties. Cazorla with the corner. Into the middle it goes. The header from Giroud over the crossbar. He's frustrated. Feels he should have done better. I suspect there are all of a sudden an awful lot of nerves inside this stadium in North London.
Just before that corner was taken, the television cameras showed us a shot of the last time Arsenal won a trophy, 2005, in the upper concourse of the stadium. That was the FA Cup, I think. Might not be there this year neither.
No, this would be a huge result for Rovers. Never won at the Emirates, but leading here now with just over 16 minutes remaining. The goal scorer, Kazim Richards, on the ball, driving forward, thinks about another shot. It's deflected, it falls nicely for Szczesny, who rolls the ball out quickly to Jack Wilshere, back this season after some serious injury problems, really bad ankle issues. Walcott, only just on, tries to get beyond Pedersen. Pedersen's just blocked off his run, and Arsenal will get the free kick. Pedersen pleads innocence, but it was an obstruction, and Mike Dean gives a free kick in Arsenal's favour.
There's no way that Pedersen was going to catch him then as well when he runs past him. A little bit fortunate not to pick up a booking as well. But with the likes that Arsenal have sent on, Cazorla, Wilshere, Walcott, there'll still be chances in this game for Arsenal to at least get level. Up to Rovers to defend doggedly, try and see this one out.
Now Wilshere will take the free kick. It is shooting territory, just wonder whether he fancies this one. He stands over it, almost Johnny Wilkinson-esque. Now moves forward, clips it into the middle instead. Glanced on, nearly fell for Giroud. It struck his arm, and Rovers will get the free kick. In fact, the initial header from Hanley, not the best of clearances, to say the least. And it struck the arm of Giroud inside the 6-yard box. It was accidental, but Mike Dean quite right to give the free kick.
Again, a bit of relief. Decent set-piece opportunity for Arsenal wasted. It might have fallen differently if it hadn't hit his arm.
Kazim Richards can't control, and now Walcott, Arsenal's top scorer, breaking forward, running at Martin Olsen. He's just outside the penalty area, in towards Wilshere, who couldn't control. Williamson turning, smashing the ball away, not too bothered where it goes. Vermaelen helps it down the line towards Monreal, left-footed cross. Dan's there with a header away. Monreal jumps, Rhodes and Vermaelen have clashed heads there. We'll have a stoppage while both men receive some treatment. And Jordan Rhodes is really in the wars at the moment, isn't he? He's got a broken nose a week ago, now a whack on the back of his head. Well, this does give Michael Appleton a chance to just take stock of the situation, call a few people across and issue some instructions for what could be a huge final 14 minutes or so.
14 minutes plus injury time you expect, and I just wonder whether that goal might change Michael Appleton's plans. They've come here hoping to enjoy the day and try and get through. Now they've got the lead. Do you stick with this team, or do you perhaps give some of them a rest for Tuesday? Don't forget, if you win here, one game off the Wembley semi-final.
Well, there's still, for the large part, a stunned silence inside the Emirates Stadium after the goal from Kazim Richards. I mean, he has struck that so scruffily, but he will not be bothered one bit.
It's not a goal of the season contender.
It was off his studs, wasn't it? Down into the ground, and that foxed everybody. And it was just a question then of where would it go. And when you looks in, you know, you think at the other end, Rosicky hit the bar and it bounced to safety. Kazim Richards hits the inside of the post and it goes in. It might just be Rovers' time to shine. Cazorla cuts in field into the feet of Diaby, who didn't offer the return pass. Diaby now does give it to Cazorla just outside the penalty area. Coquelin bursts into the box. The touch was heavy. It's cleared away. Rhodes and Vermaelen both okay to carry on. Cazorla once more finds Wilshere. All of a sudden, urgency about Arsenal's play. Diaby takes on one, then ran into trouble. Lowe was there. Great effort to get to the ball second time, but it falls for Arsenal and Walcott, who's infield away from Pedersen. Now Diaby back towards Walcott. 12 minutes remaining. The cross comes in. Dan prods away. Monreal picks up. Backs against the wall for Rovers. Monreal finds Wilshere. Flick back through. Half-hearted appeals for handball, which the referee waves away. And Bentley just sends that one down the right-hand side. Great work rate from Rhodes. Vermaelen's done well, though, to find Koscielny, and he in turn heads down into the path of Jack Wilshere. Wilshere square to Arteta, and Arsenal, as you would expect, a goal down here late on, having plenty of the ball, looking for the breakthrough. somehow trying to get themselves back on level terms. The Rovers standing strong as Wilshere clips it into the area towards Monreal. Tight angle, went for the shot when the cross was probably the better option, and he's lofted it high behind for a goal kick.
Relief from Rovers. It's Jack Wilshere who's trying to orchestrate things in midfield. Great ball over the top there. First touch is good from Monreal. Second touch not so. I'm not really sure what he's trying to do. He's not going to beat Jake Keane at his near post from there. He should be trying to clip it back across. And time might be running out for Arsenal.
Keane kicks forward. Time is running out for Arsenal. Just over 10 remaining at the Emirates. And Rovers a goal up. Who would have thought it? 10-1 we were to win this game beforehand. Rovers just outside the playoffs in the Championship. Arsenal near the top end of the Premier League. But Pedersen goes to ground and gets the free kick. It looked like a fair challenge by Coquelin. The referee has decided it was a foul and then has actually given the Arsenal man a yellow card in the end.
I think he's got that one right, Mike Dean. Seems to come through the back of him. Pushing the back at the very least. But Pedersen's doing really well to melt this. Perhaps a two-footed tackle, and if it is a two-footed tackle, maybe a little bit lucky that it's only a yellow. Pedersen's milking it though for a little bit of time, and just to relieve the pressure on Rovers. What we give for a second though, I'm sure they won't be sending too many forward for this set piece though.
Oh, absolutely, keep milking the time. We're a goal up, we can afford to do so. Well, Pedersen takes it quickly to Kazim Richards. Left-hand side of the penalty area, holding the ball up beautifully. Now back into the path of Bentley. Sends it square to Williamson. Under pressure from Cazorla, turns one way, then the other, still going. Flicks it back to Hanley, and now Lowe takes over. Sloppy pass, which Walcott picks off. Hanley's covering, thankfully, and sends it out to play. And that will be an Arsenal throw. I would suggest that's not the best approach for Rovers.
You don't want to play that to the left-hand side from Rovers' point of view. Walcott's always going to be there trying to use his pace to get on it. Cut it out. You don't want Walcott to be breaking against you.
Cazorla from distance fed it into the path of Wilshere. Back towards Monreal, left-hand side, helps it in. Dan with a diving header away. Arteta touches down to Coquelin. All bar Rhodes behind the ball. Arsenal throwing numbers forward. Coquelin just outside the penalty area, slides it into the path of Walcott, who's been flagged offside, and Rovers will get the free kick. Sean Massey with the decision. Well, Rovers are going to take this opportunity to make a substitution. Say she's got everything spot on throughout the game, not entirely sure about that one, but we'll take it. And the change with 8 minutes remaining is Jordan Rhodes going off, and coming on is David Goodwillie.
It's a shame on a big stage like this that Jordan Rhodes hasn't had too much impact in the game. Worked hard up front, struggled to get the service in towards him. Let's hope Goodwillie comes on and doesn't do anything silly in her own penalty area. Just stick him up front and leave him there.
So a great effort from Jordan Rhodes. Not really had any kind of clear-cut opportunity. But he's put in a real shift for the team. And Goodwillie sent on just to try and offer some fresh legs up front for the final few minutes. Arteta finds Wilshere breaking forward. Slides it towards the right-hand side, and Walcott. Low ball into the penalty area. Hanley with a great touch. Edge of the 6-yard box away from Giroud.
It's a decent ball in from Walcott, but again, there's not too many options in the penalty area once it gets there.
Cazorla, just outside the penalty area, trying to work an opening. Finds Walcott, who sends it in deep towards Giroud. Taken off his head by Dan. Monreal with a shot. Across the face of goal and wide of the far post by a couple of yards. In the end, it was good pressure from Dan, who cleared the ball away off Giroud's head, followed it out. Didn't allow Monreal the time to really measure his shot. And 2 or 3 yards beyond the far post.
It's fortunate at times, I think, for Rovers that the chances haven't fallen for Arsenal's best players up front. Monreal's had a few, Diaby's had a few. We haven't seen Giroud have too much of an impact in this game, and what with 6 minutes left, you expect him to do something of note during the game.
And we haven't seen that much really of an impact from Walcott, from Wilshere, from Cazorla. Arsenal a bit better, but not a great deal. Diaby just outside the penalty area. Overcooked the touch, finds Wilshere, back towards Coquelin. Running at Pedersen, infield away from him initially, then gives it to Diaby. Kazim Richards closing him down. Diaby goes to ground and Rovers, through Pedersen, able to clear away. Goodwillie, the only man forward, just trying to force Vermaelen to work the ball a little bit quicker. Arteta bang on halfway. Diaby. It's Coquelin once more on the right-hand side. And still Arsenal continue to just knock it from one side to the other. Not getting too desperate yet. Better pass into the path of Walcott. Pedersen's done really well there to rob him of the ball. And Olsen will complete the clearance downfield. Excellent work by the Norwegian. Another Arsenal attack repelled. 5 minutes remaining at the Emirates Stadium. Rovers on the verge of a huge upset in the FA Cup, leading Arsenal by a goal to nil. Wilshere darts forward, Orr intercepts, clears away, downfield towards Koscielny. Coquelin picks up, Koscielny continues his run on the right-hand side, sends a cross in to the middle, and Giroud gets his head on it, but it's a tame one, and it's a very comfortable save for Jake Keane.
And as usual, dives on top of the ball just to eat up a few more seconds. The Arsenal players are crying out for him to kick it forward, and I think Rovers can afford just to take the time a little bit. There's only Bradley Orr out there on a yellow card. Perhaps some people just need to sacrifice themselves, take one for the team.
Oh, Rovers dropping deeper and deeper. It's only natural, it will frustrate Michael Appleton. Diaby just outside the penalty area, turns away from one. Shot blocked by Hanley in the end. Arteta now 30 yards out onto his left foot. Short pass to Wilshere, who clips it in deep towards Giroud. Pedersen slightly put him off. Walcott on that right-hand side, back towards Coquelin. Edge of the penalty area, in towards Diaby, who makes a good burst. The shot parried away by Jake Keane. Still Arsenal press. Arteta in towards Wilshere. Orr's there, and he just smashes it downfield. Anywhere will do for Rovers at the moment. Good save in amongst all that by Jake Keane.
Important save as well, just to get it clear. Withstand the pressure. You just want your goalkeeper to stand firm, repel everything that goes anywhere near him.
Cazorla just outside the penalty area, trying to work an opening onto his left foot. Shot again blocked. And Kazim Richards clears away. Goodwillie was fouled. Rovers will get the free kick. Super play there. That's priceless at this stage of the game. Just buying a free kick like that is worth so much to Michael Appleton's side.
Arsene Wenger kicking the floor on the touchline as well. Not happy with the fourth official. Having a few words there. A great hold-up play from Kazim Richards, getting the ball forward, relieving the pressure on the Rovers goal, and that's what they need to do. I think the referee's done superbly in this game. Arsenal looking for free kicks at times. Rovers have won free kicks at times, but he's been right on top of the ball, and I think the referee's done really well.
Oh, Dan there, trying a shot from halfway, trying to catch Szczesny out. How well advised that was, I'm not entirely sure. 2.5 minutes remaining. Wilshere finds Cazorla. Arsenal famed for late goals. Rovers desperately hoping they can't produce another one here to deny us the victory. Falls for Wilshere. Edge of the penalty area, clipped it in, headed down, and Keane's there to save. It was Theo Walcott with the header, and Jake Keane with a big smile on his face. Can't believe that he's been able to cover the ground there and make the save. Great run by Wilshere. Walcott's header perhaps a little bit too central, but Keane nonetheless makes another excellent save.
Just positioning there, Jake Keane in the right place, right time. Get something on it, keep hold of the ball as well. It's fantastic goalkeeping. Showing exactly why he's Rovers #1 as well, I think. As Mike Dean proves quite unpopular for stopping play for a head injury there. I think Goodwillie was just a little bit late on. Is it Coquelin who's down?
Oh, he's not been on for too long, David Goodwillie. But battling away, that's very, very harsh. He's got booked for that challenge when the Arsenal man had stooped down to get his head on that one. And Goodwillie is quite rightly going for it. Nonetheless, if it uses up a few more seconds, he won't mind. Wilshere forward to Monreal, who's onside. Can he keep it in? The answer is he did initially, but the cross floats behind, and that will be a goal kick. And inside the final minute of the 90, Michael Appleton, stony-faced, watching on, but inside, he must be doing cartwheels at this performance.
I think he must just be waiting for the added time board as well, because Rovers have got one more substitution left to use, let's not forget.
Now we'll wait and see how much time there will be as Hanley heads back to Keane very calmly. He'll look to kick downfield. That's the big question now. How much more time will there be in this match? Rovers lead, courtesy of Colin Kazim-Richards' goal in the 72nd minute. Giroud with the first header. Dan's there. There'll be 4 added at the end of this game. Or volleys high in the air and just out of play. Monreal in a hurry to take the throw. Some Arsenal fans have given up on this and made their way to the exits. Williamson back to Orr, who sends it downfield. Goodwillie just offside. If he'd have been a little bit cuter there and stayed on, it was a chance.
No, he doesn't like using all 3 substitutions, Michael Appleton, but just throw somebody on now. Surely he took 30 seconds of time.
Arteta, poor pass, and it's behind Monreal, and out of play it goes. And the Rovers fans celebrate that like a goal. Boos from the Arsenal supporters. And more precious seconds disappear. Arsene Wenger, he's a man under pressure. It will be another season, by the looks of it, of Arsenal not winning a trophy. Kazim-Richards flicks it on. Goodwillie battling for it. Arteta comes away with the ball. Opens it up to Diaby. Now just outside the centre circle. Over 1 minute of the added time has been played. Coquelin, faced by a wall of navy blue shirts. Or slightly miscontrolled. It'll fall nicely for Jake Keane though, who scampers to the edge of his penalty area and collects. And he's had another truly memorable game as Arsene Wenger just crouches down, almost praying. They need something, and they need something very quick here. Arteta up over halfway. Was desperately close to a famous victory. Diaby away from Kazim-Richards. Finds Wilshere now. He's closed down by Williamson. Monreal back towards Abu Diaby. Wilshere on that left-hand side gets the cross in. Dan meets it. He's been immense for Rovers today. Vermaelen finds Diaby once more. 2 of the 4 added are now gone. Vermaelen down the left-hand side. What's Wilshere's cross like? A high one into the middle. 2 or 3 rise for the same ball. Coquelin shoots, blocked out. Back into the penalty area, and Walcott. Now Cazorla deep towards the back post. Vermaelen back across goal. It's Jason Lowe there to sweep downfield. Rovers under the cosh in added time. Wilshere rolls it to the left-hand corner of the penalty area. And Coquelin, Diaby, square towards Santi Cazorla. Can he produce a bit of magic? Slides it into Wilshere in the penalty area, trying to cross into the middle, blocked out, might come at the back post, and it's fired into the side netting. Decent opportunity for Mikel Arteta, but he's off target, and that might just be that.
Great pressure from Arsenal at the end of this game. Ball down the left, Wilshere tries to cut it back across, and it's hit Scott Dan again. Right place, right time, before Arteta just puts his foot right through that one. Just as you'd expect from Arsenal at the end of this game, powering the bodies forward. Such credit to Rovers for this defensive performance. It's been a superb away performance.
Well, it has been, throwing bodies on the line at times, particularly, I have to say, the central 2, Dan and Hanley, have been absolutely outstanding. 15 seconds remaining. Last play of the game surely now for Arsenal, as forward it goes towards Walcott. He dummies it. Orr's there. He takes on one, and now he's just looking to clear the ball away. Tees up Pedersen, who smashes it downfield all the way through to Szczesny. The 4 minutes of added time are now up as Szczesny kicks the ball forward. Mike Dean blows the final whistle, and Michael Appleton has masterminded a famous victory for Rovers. A stunning 1-0 win over Arsenal in the FA Cup 5th round. Rovers have defended superbly throughout, and when the chance came along, Colin Kazim Richards took it, and one of the shocks of this season's FA Cup has been witnessed right before us. A monumental effort from the Rovers players, who are quite rightly celebrating on the pitch at the moment. The fans who sold out the away allocation are jumping for joy. They can't quite believe what they have seen. It's Rovers' first ever victory at the Emirates Stadium, and what a memorable one it has been. Arsenal had their chances. Gervinho end of the first half, Rosicky when he hit the bar, and Theo Walcott late on with a header. But Rovers and Kazim Richards have had a day in the sunshine. A great result and a memorable victory for Rovers. And they go to celebrate with the away supporters. To a man, Michael Appleton leads the march. And Rovers, can you believe it, have beaten Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium and are through to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Great scenes here where it's finished Arsenal 0, Rovers 1.
I think if you ask the players,